The video games, the movies, the internet stuff is so violent. It's so incredible. I see it. I get to see things that you'd be amazed at. I have a very young son who I look at some of the things he's watching and I say, how is that possible? And this is what kids are watching.
Well, once again, video games are in the news. For the 1000th time, they're talking about how video games and violence are combined. What am I going to talk about? How am I going to react to this? Stay tuned.
A look around a video game store like this one in North Hollywood leaves no doubt about the violence level of the games. And retailers say the more mayhem, the better the sales.
They like the gore, they like bloody games where people's heads explode, and I think it's attractive to them.
The really popular video games are linear, repetitive, really violent. There's not a lot going on mentally. It's the same repeated movement over and over and over again, and it's very hypnotic.
David Sheff has written a book about the dangers of video games called Game Over. He says many kids play the games obsessively, and he believes the interactive violence affects them long after they shut off the screen.
Kids who play a lot are frustrated, they're anxious, they have a lot of problems with communication, they have...
Welcome back, everybody. Today's topic is going to be based off of video game violence in the news. They're bringing that back once again. They're trying to mix it into pretty much, making it out to be what they used to back in the 90s, that pretty much creates violent kids, violent teenagers, and all this other bullshit. Let me explain something to you out there for the people in the media that are in CNN, Fox News, whatever. I really hope this video gets out to you and it reaches out to you somehow, some way, some shape or form. I don't care how many people out there watch this video, dislike this video, like this video, as long as this gets out there and gets our voices be heard. I don't give a fuck if I'm the only one that's doing this, if I'm the only one that's making a video like this. I hope you motherfuckers see this. This has been going on for far way too long, and it's pissing me off, and I'm sure it's pissing everybody else off too, especially the retro gamers, because we had to put up with this bullshit back in the fucking 90s and in the 80s as well. Alright, first of all, if you recall, back in the early 90s, they came out with a little something called the ESRB, which is a rating system. You have games that are rated E for everyone. You have games that are rated for EC, early childhood. Let's see, T for teens, M for mature. Now, if you're going to go out there and keep saying that, well, violent video games makes my kids bad and violent, they're going to go out and want to kill somebody from playing Grand Theft Auto, what the fuck is your problem going out fucking buying this shit for your kids? There is a fucking ESRB for a fucking reason. They have ratings out there for a reason, okay? I mean, are you fucking retarded? Are you that fucking dumb? They have the rating system for a reason. I have to keep bringing this up because obviously in your fucking head meat, you don't fucking have any shit in your frontal lobe. Come on, man. I know I've been watching a little bit too much of Alpha Omega Sim lately, but that's because I miss the shit out of them, and I will continue to do so. But besides the fucking point, this is bullshit. They want to keep attacking video games because apparently they're making kids violent. They're making teenagers violent. That's not the fucking point. Let me tell you motherfuckers a little something about my history in growing up in the environment that I grew up. I had the fucking childhood that a child should never fucking have, okay? I was abused since I came out of my mom pretty much, all the way up until I was 14 years old. Let's see. I was forced to pick up after my older brothers. Let's see. My two oldest brothers. We were forced to do what they told us to do. When my parents would go out every weekend, we had to clean up the whole house. We had to clean up their bedrooms, clean up their messes. And what did we get in return? We didn't get rewarded. We had to sit down in a fucking single file line with our legs crossed and watch them play video games. That's the kind of fucking childhood that I had. I had to put up with that shit for at least 10 fucking years, which is bullshit. I was mentally and physically abused as a child. Now, what kept me fucking sane, okay, is once in a while, I would have the opportunity to play video games, okay? Whether it would be to sneak in my brother's room or my mom and dad's room and play Super Mario World or Sonic the Hedgehog, or Donkey Kong Country, All Stars, let's see, what else? Kirby. One second. I'm really sick, if you guys couldn't tell. Like, I fucking, yesterday, it just fucking, boom, punched you right in the fucking face. And it's like, you're sick for the next 2 weeks. Oh man, this is really pissing me off. But moving on. It put me into a place where I actually had fun doing something instead of being told, like, this is how bad it was, okay? My oldest brother, Jake, he would grab the hard plastic end of a shop vac, swing that shit around like this. Come on, pick up the fucking living room, pick up the bathroom, clean this shit up right now, blah, blah, blah. And it's like you're fucking 4 or 5 years old and you don't know what to fucking do or expect, so you have to fucking do it because you don't want to get hurt. That's the kind of childhood I had to fucking deal with all the way up until I was about 10 years old. And we'll get on to that. I'll explain what happened after I hit 10 years old in a little bit. But moving on, it's like when I had the opportunity to sit down for at least an hour to play Donkey Kong Country or Sonic the Hedgehog on the Sega Genesis, I couldn't escape that place physically. So that was my escape mentally. So you're going to sit there and say, well, playing games like Grand Theft Auto or Resident Evil is going to make someone go out and fucking pretty much shoot people, or if they see a fucking mentally handicapped person walking towards them like this, I'm not trying to be mean, but like this, they're going to think it's a zombie, pull a fucking 9mm out, and boom. No, that's not the fucking case. If you're going to blame video games, you're going to have to blame all kinds of media. Movies, TV shows, news channels, the newspaper, comics, magazines, you know, so on and so forth. Because it's not just, you can't blame just one form of media. You have to blame all forms. This is complete bullshit. You want to keep attacking us, and go ahead. Now, back to my story. Back when I was going to say when I was 10 years old, the abuse kept up the exact same way, like I just told you guys, all the way up till I was 10 years old, until one Friday afternoon, we had a fucking assembly at my school when I was in, I want to say about 5th grade. 5th grade, about child abuse. And that's where I learned, well, I'm going to go up to my brother, and when he swings that fucking the hard plastic hose off of that shop vac, I'm going to say something. So that Friday came, my parents went out to the casino like they usually do. And it was me, my brother Josh, and my brother Tom, yes, who's also on YouTube. I looked at my brother and I said, no, if you hit me, I'm going to tell the school about you abusing me. He didn't know what the fuck to say. He dropped that hard plastic hose right then and there, and I went upstairs, walked up to my bedroom, and did whatever the hell I wanted. And my brother soon followed. My brother Josh and brother Tom shortly followed me. But that's not the case. I just wanted to finish up, you know, what I kind of went through. I mean, I know it's not really anybody's business, but someone's got to fucking stick up to this bullshit about video games making people violent. And it's like I said before, I can't escape that shit. I can't run away. I cannot physically leave. Yeah, a 6 or 7 year old cannot physically leave the house on his own and never come back. So I had to find an escape mentally. Now, if you're going to go out, and, I mean, like, if you're 12 or 13 years old and you want the Grand Theft Auto 6, of course you can't buy it unless you have a parent present or an adult with you. So if you're going to go out, this is also a video pointing out to all the fucking no-good moms that complain about this shit, but still go out there and buy them fucking games for their kids that say, like, fucking, let me give you an example here. I wish I had a game with me. Yeah, right here. I'll use this as an example. Let me show you so you guys can understand, and hopefully if there's moms out there or dads out there with kids and that complain about violent video games but still go to the store and buy them, look at this. You see this? Right there. That's M for mature. M for mature, which means it's violent. It's gonna have curse words in it. You're gonna have beat up hookers and have sex with them in your car and whatever. Read up on the ESRB. ESRB. You want to go out there and you want to complain. You want to ruin shit like this. You want to go out there and ruin shit like this for people like myself that actually helped me get through my fucking life and my childhood. I mean, what the fuck is your problem? I mean, this is just a target for these guys, for something to complain about, to take their mind off of what's really fucking happening with this world and country. Anyway, I think I'm pretty much done. That's all I pretty much got to say about this bullshit. Thanks for watching, guys. Please share the shit out of this video. Whoever watches this, let them see this video. Let them know that we want to be heard and that we are firing back at the media. If not, then hit that dislike button. Anyways, this has been Cynical Enigma saying keep it retro, 90s style.
Simulated violence.
It's a criminal simulator, a murder simulator.
Yeah, Evan Ramsey, others like, some of these other killers, Dylan Klebold, Eric Harris of Columbine, were steeped in these games, Adam Lanza.
The Norway killer trained on those. He said he trained on them. 69 dead on an island in Norway, and he spent a year training on video games to prepare himself for his crime. The killer in Florida, he spent 15 hours a day on violent video games. The most all-consuming, all-pervasive thing in this guy's life are these violent video games. And less than a year ago, the American Psychological Association made a definitive statement. There is a clear, unequivocal link between violent video games, violent behavior. Their blood pressure goes up, their heart rate goes up, violent actions go up. The data is persistent and clear across many different forms. You cannot deny it.